Hey, I decided to go ahead and continue on with this science fiction. I I have a couple ideas of new paintings I want to do, but I wasn't quite ready to make a decision on them. So we're just going to go along with this one and continue right on with Count Vorlaan. All right. Excuse me. This over a little bit. I just see myself flying over the top of that. That would not be a good thing. Okay. Let's get right into it. Actually, I need to lower the camera just a little bit. There we go. And back a little bit. There we are. Maybe a little more. Hang on. Oh, now you get to look at this. There we go. Oh, jeez. Good grief. You think I can do this? Okay, let's just go right in. Move this back. All right. Excuse me. I think I have a little bit of allergies going on today, so bear with me. Worked in the yard a little bit. Hey, Anthony! And you get to listen to me blow my nose and everything. All right. So I got Count Vorlaan here. I'm just going to do some work down here. Like I said, I had an idea of another painting I wanted to do to get started, but I think I'm just going to march right through this and get this completed, and we'll get there. Okay. How are you doing today, Anthony? Cool. I just had to move that chair so I could actually see here. Yeah. I have a couple of paintings I'm toying with, or photographs I'm toying with right now. One is a bridge scene in the sunset. It's really pretty. And I would like to do that one. But I don't want to get too far away from the Portland stuff too, because that tends to be very popular. So yeah, I'll get there. I can put some more Russian blue. Yeah, I'm gonna put some more magenta out too. There we go. Oh dear. Let's see, is it buried here? Buried? There it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Oh, I want that. Oh, I did do that. I put sap green out, not Prussian blue. Oh, cats. Ugh. It looks similar. All right. Turned into a nice day here in Portland. The sun finally came out, and I worked in the yard a little bit. I think that's one reason why I'm sniffling just a little bit. All right, getting this darkened up and filled in here. I have 7 days left on my jail term for Facebook, but you know what, Anthony, I think I'm just going to stick right doing live YouTube. And keep building up that audience. I think. Oh, that really irritated me with Facebook. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. So, and I think YouTube has a potential better platform anyway. I think the quality's better, the camera's better, everything. Yeah. We're just gonna keep building this up. What I should be doing is building up a little bit of a website too. I had a website, but problem with websites, a lot of people don't really visit the website at all. So I don't know how much of it's worth the time or not. Now, I'll have this all figured out before I pass away. Finally, success, dead the next day. Oh, I tell you. I always tell people you have got to have thick skin in this business. The primary reason you should be paying is because you're having fun at it. That's what I always keep saying. Because otherwise you're going to be very disappointed at times. That's too low. Okay, I'm going to start getting some pizzazz going down there. Move this over a little bit. There we go. That's the key, is you just get people to subscribe. Yeah. But as you know, that's always an uphill battle. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes, well, So we're gonna, let's see, let's go with a smaller brush here. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Oh yeah. I think it was interesting. Oh gosh, when I first moved to Portland, I decided to get onto YouTube, and it's kind of like one of those things. If I had stuck with it, I probably would have a much bigger audience because I was actually getting a fair amount of hits, and there was at that time YouTube wasn't quite so algorithms. I think that's what you call it. They didn't quite, that wasn't perfected yet, and so I was getting a fair amount of views. I had one that went over 2,000 views. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, then I went on with other things for a while there, and then I had this routine called the obnoxious artist. But I think my biggest viewing was I called it the wow effect, so, and how to make your paintings wow, instead of somebody being nice to you. Okay. I was kind of impressed with Merrick when he did that song for Olivia, the Empress, and her funeral march. But he had the whole story written out. I was like, oh, hey, all right. I think that's probably another thing I should be looking at is spend a little time, put it down on paper too. Yeah. I when I first did my first YouTube thing, I'm kind of guessing it was around 2008, 2009 time frame, and it's changed dramatically. It's gotten a lot different, and well, that's all right. I know I have kind of a goofy title name for mine, Fun AF, but that goes back to a while, and I have learned every time I keep changing the name up and stuff like that, I lose people because they get confused. So I'm gonna stick it here and. I found it interesting too. I studied a bit on European history and stuff like that, and they were talking about the castles. The big radical change in the castles was with the round turrets instead of a square, and they got that from. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think if every time you keep trying to make a change, you could gradually make a change, but you don't want to just suddenly make that change. So, gotta be able to find you. You gotta have patience to let it, get them there. Well, so far we've had everybody except for Angie on. I know she tried, and she said she kept having to subscribe, but I don't know why. Because I have it set up so anybody can get on and watch. And I have learned one thing too, just over the years, is just because you have a lot of likes doesn't translate into sales. And I've learned, excuse me, there's a lot of people who watch, but you don't know that they've watched. That's another thing I've learned. That's the only thing I get afraid of leaving too much of Facebook. I might have like a little shorts, on there just to keep me on there. But yeah, I was so surprised by being put in jail. I'm a good guy. I think so, at least. Gosh. And then the other stuff that they allow on there, you're like, well, really? Just adding more and more detail to this. Right, there was this one huge castle that was close to my apartment that I had in Germany, Castle Landgraf, and it had this big cathedral inside of it too. It was just amazing. Oh, that's good to know. I've always wondered about TikTok. Everybody says, "Oh, you need to do TikTok. You need to do TikTok." And my experience with TikTok is always a bunch of young people, running around. So I don't know. And I don't know about you, Anthony. As I get older, it's not a matter of keeping up or anything like that. It's just I run out of energy. You know, there's just so much time in the day. And I mean, I could be sitting there staying up all night trying to get this all figured out. But gosh, this old fart needs sleep. I won't waste my time on YouTube shorts then. That's good to know. Thank you. Yeah. 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 Because like I said, and I just run out of time and energy. It's just like I don't have time to sit here and figure that all out. Rinse, rinse, rinse. I watched a biography on Bob Ross, and it was interesting because they said you always saw the gentle, quiet, laid back person, but they said he was one heck of a hard worker. You didn't just have that 30 minutes happen. That took a tremendous amount of work on his part behind the scenes. And that's the thing. That's what it takes. And so I thought that was interesting. I watched a thing on Julia Child, the same thing. She worked. No, it just didn't happen. I remember one of your videos. You had like 29,000. Isn't that wild to think? That's a lot of people. Add just a little smidgen of magenta to that to darken that up. There we go. Oh yeah. Haven't you ever had one where for some reason a lot of people watch it and you try to figure out what the heck did you do different? That's me. I was like, why that one? I've actually had a couple on the YouTube. I mean, it's not a massive following, but I've posted it on Twitter, and they call them what do they call it? Oh, it's like the same thing as a viewing, but they have a different name for it. But the point is that I had a couple of them get quite a bit. I was surprised. Well over 1,000. I was like, what the heck? Why that one? I have yet to figure it out. I told you that one thing was the guy who was drawing an eye, a human eye. It was well done. No, nothing against it or anything like that. And he had like 2.5 million views. And I actually sent him a message, and he did get back to me. And he says, "I have no idea why." He says, "I wish I could give you this formula." He says, "I don't know." He says, "For some reason, it got picked up, and people started watching it." I don't know what I would do if I had 2 or 3 million views. I can see next round, I'm going to have to change up the palette again. Starts setting up and drying up, and kind of have no choice but to change up. We'll get through tonight. I've been watching. They've been showing Games of Thrones on HBO, and I'm not a huge television person, and I was one of the few people that didn't watch it, but I'm watching some of it. It's kind of fun. Kind of gives me inspiration for this too, because they have castles and everything in it. You know. Trump. I haven't seen Diane in a while. I'm going to have to start spreading rumors that she's back in prison. Algorithms. Oh, I know. I have a person I actually work with, and he's kind of like the brainiac, and he said he's spent quite a bit of time studying them. Because I remember watching a thing on YouTube, and they were talking about there used to be this thing where you're only supposed to be on for a few minutes, and they said no, 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 no. Especially like an art thing, it needs to be instructional, and they said they count the minutes also and they count the minutes that people are watching. That's a big one. But then also there's other formulas that come into play. Is that age of who is watching you? That's another one. Just like movies gear up to go for the younger crowds because that way they home in on an audience, and there's a lot of factors. This is going to be a fun painting. And that's another thing. I don't know about you, Anthony, but I found one thing that helped. I stopped worrying if it was going to sell or not. I mean, I happen to know this Portland scene sell. I think the lighthouses will sell, but it's amazing. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to have to get after them. That was one of my biggest fears having to switch over to YouTube. Was I going to lose all those people? And I know Leighton's only been on once, and Pat's been a couple times, but Pat's had some issues, which I understand. So, but yeah. Now, what else are you doing on a Monday night? I tell you what, give them a bad time. God forbid. The problem is summertime too here, and people start wanting to get outside, which I understand. Sitting back. All right, we're gonna go down here. Won't quite get done with it tonight, but we're closing in on it. Yeah, I set the reminders out to everybody, so who knows? We may still see some people come on. Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, I've been kind of like on a roll, and some people will say I'm way too underpriced, but I said I'd rather have it go home with somebody than sit in a closet up here. Uh, I mean, I love your florals and cabins; those are beautiful. Yeah, did you have any particular subject that was particularly popular? But for me, it was kind of interesting once the Portland scenes picked up, the science fiction picked up. So there you go. All right. Yeah, I love your floral. It's really. Oh, and they haven't you ever had? I'm always nice, so I don't say anything. But haven't you ever had somebody that showed you their artwork, and you're like, going, "Oh, that's nice." They've all been there. Oh, I still remember. I think I've told this story a million times. There used to be this thing called the Big 500. It was an art show, but all 8x8s. And I didn't never did very well in those sort of things. I had a guy with an 8x8 with a paintbrush glued to it. That was the entire painting. It was glued to it. Guess what one sold? Right next to mine. That sold. Mine sat there and didn't sell at all. I was like, what? Oh, oh, I see. I see how this works. Oh, I always say a good piece of artwork is a piece of artwork you like. All right, let's keep going. Oh. I said, you have got to have thick skin. Oh, and I don't know if you found this to be true also. A lot of things, especially when it comes to like if you do like a jury, I don't do jury art shows anymore, but it's like a popular contest. Popularity. We're going to have a lot more detail down in here too. Excuse me. Okay. Let's work on the spaceship some more here. Actually, I'm going to crisp that up a little bit. I'm going to cheat here. Mm-hmm. Coming in with a little bit of white here. And a little bit of that. Kind of blend this here better. Okay. Coming back in with a smaller brush. There we go. Yeah. And then I have the ones that want, oh, I love it at that time, so I know. And this at 8 o'clock, my time is 11 o'clock your time. There's somebody, oh, that's just too late for me, and it's just like, I can only do so much. And for somebody like, hey, Mavis, hello. Not going to be quite finished with it, I don't think, Mavis. I'll definitely be done tomorrow. I've been babbling too much. Who knows? Maybe if I stop babbling, I'll actually get done with it. It's all Anthony's fault. I want you to know that. Yeah. Grab another brush. That's a little too light. Still too light. So how you doing, Mavis? Mm-hmm. 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 cool. Coming back in here with a smaller brush. Count Vorlaan. Coming in with titanium white. Master Mac. Bloody. Surface to space aircraft here, or what do you want to call them? We were feeling kind of lonely here. Glad you're able to join us. Add a little more white. I need a little cleaner white than that. Always get mine in a big tub because I use a lot of white. If we don't get done with it tonight, we'll definitely get done with it tomorrow. And then it'll be time to start a new painting. Like I said, I was telling Anthony, I have like people that love the Portland scenes. I have people that like the landscapes, and I have a loyal science fiction following. So there you go. And the science fiction used to just virtually never sell, and then it started picking up. So I always make sure I have some science fiction in every one of my shows. Whoa! Couldn't help myself. my little vino here. Yep. That's good. Question for you, Anthony. All the time on Instagram, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I get constant say, "Oh, direct message me." And of course, it's going to cost you, and I figured those things are probably a total scam. Oh, we want to promote you, yeah. Tell me about that. Oh, I was going to do here. I think that's a sad thing with the internet. There is so many scams. You have to be really careful. You find yourself doing all the work, but they're the ones making you the money. And they tap into your ego. What they do, they tap into your ego and your desire to do better in this. You know exactly what they're doing. I have a fellow art friend that I was getting a person involved that wanted to promote my art. Oh, okay. No worries. But I had a good friend that warned me, said, don't sign anything, because before you know it, you signed over all of your stuff to him. That's exactly what he tried to do. All the accounts that you built yourself, you want it. Got Count Vorlaan here. Quaven Empire. Ba-ding! It's my phone. Not gonna quite get done with this one. Darn close though, but I want to do a little more detail on the castle, and I want to do some more detail on the ships and the city below. So we're definitely gonna get it done tomorrow. Definitely. Sorry, Mavis. But I've learned if I don't have to, I try never to rush them. And you know me, I like to talk nonstop, so that's part of my problem. If I shut up, I could probably knock one of these out every hour. But Mike likes to talk. Yep. I'm told that by teachers and everything. I remember my mom and dad being pulled into a teacher conference, and he says he has too vivid of an imagination. And well, all the science fiction, just about all the science fiction always has a storyline that goes with it too. Especially if it's dealing with like my Quaven Empire. If you're doing stars, you always want to vary the size of them because that gives that a three-dimensional feel to it. Because as you can imagine, space or the universe is definitely three-dimensional. It's not flat, so. Keep going here. I think this week we're supposed to have all five, or we're going to have 5 planets in the sky at one time. I think that would be pretty cool to see. Always loved astronomy. I guess that's a natural thing to go into with the science fiction and everything. Keeping at it here. Hear my birds out there. Uh-oh. Oh yeah. Well, remember when the Hubble, once they got the lens fixed on the darn thing, and all of a sudden the views that we were getting, and then of course the probes that go by like Jupiter. Growing up, Jupiter had bands, and you had the big red spot, and then now you have these incredible close-up pictures of Jupiter with all these wild clouds and stuff like that. It's just really fascinating. I just love that type of stuff. Man, I can't even begin to imagine. I tell you, like Saturn, all of its rings, and they realized how complicated those rings were. And I don't know. Remember when the first time, I think it was at Voyager, that when it went shooting by Jupiter, and when they took a picture of Io and they saw a mountain erupting, and said that's the first time. And I remember that was such a big deal because that was the first time they had ever seen, a mountain on another planet, or a celestial body was erupting. And it was just, and then they realized how volatile like Io was. It was just incredible. Yeah, I always like that type of stuff too. I remember being excited when Viking landed on Mars. That was kind of cool too. I always thought it'd been funny if the first pictures, if you could see this green monster walking towards it, a couple other pictures, and then blackout. Not quite done with this tonight, but definitely tomorrow. But I love adding. I want this is like a gothic, castle that I really want to have that gothic look to it. Count Vorlaan. Castle's about over 1,000 years old. Just in case you're wondering. Like I said, I need to write an entire story of this. Quavian Empire and how it came to be. It's kind of like Dune. I was watching Dune you had these houses that were powerful, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, and the signal takes forever to get here, and they said they have to have such big just to capture that little signal, and you realize that's something that was built in the 70s. You know, boy, they put that thing together. They did a good job. Yeah, Voyager, interesting. It still keeps going. I'll definitely be back on tomorrow, and we'll finish this tomorrow. That's for sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure I add the extra detail I need. Yeah, Voyager. I remember Carl Sagan. I loved Carl Sagan. Oh God, I used to watch Cosmos all the time. He was a big force behind Voyager. Little kids out there playing. Okay. One more time here. Gonna have to get after the other ones for not showing up. How dare you have another life than me? Yeah, this castle's gonna have a ridiculous amount of detail to it. Gotta have a good castle. Well, on that note, boom, boom. Okay. And on that note, I think I'm going to have to call it. We will finish this tomorrow. I hope you are able to join me, Mavis. We'll get this done tomorrow for certain. And yeah, I'll put it out. And so far, the YouTube is working out. So, yay! Yeah, I was a little terrified when I got banned. You know, I was like, God. Oh well. All right. Seriously, thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We're getting through this stuff, and we will get Count Vorlaan's castle done here. work on these spaceships a little more. There's spaceships, semi-planes, so we're going to get that. Might even have you could see a bigger ship in orbit or something like that. Got some ideas going ahead. I do really want to add more detail down here too. So that's what we're going here, and a lot more detail in the castle. So definitely done tomorrow, but I'm going to have to shut up and actually get to it. All right. Take care. And once again, thank you for joining me. Count Vorlaan! Vorlaan!